Well, joining us now from the Thomas More Society is Vice President and Senior Counsel Peter Breen, who is one of the attorneys representing David Daleiden. Peter, thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here.
Tell us, where do things stand right now, and what's next?
Well, as you reported, we got a little bit of an early Easter gift in terms of the California Supreme Court saying that they are going to take a look at this issue. And the issue was, can someone like the Attorney General, who is so closely tied to Planned Parenthood and really was having meetings with senior Planned Parenthood staff as they're serving search warrants on David Daleiden for alleged illegal taping, can they continue to prosecute this case, or can we get a neutral prosecutor? This is the first time in California history that an investigative journalist has ever been charged with illegal undercover taping. And I'll tell you, on evening news in Los Angeles, they're having the same sort of undercover taping featured on the evening news. No problems with those folks. And so even in their pleadings, the Attorney General said the reason we prosecuted David was because he was so successful in his advocacy after the videos. In other words, because the people of the country were inflamed by these videos, that's why the Attorney General, the very pro-choice, a very pro-Planned Parenthood Attorney General, had prosecuted him in the first place.
Interesting. Well, Peter, talk about the evidence in this case. What exactly was Daleiden accused of?
Well, he's accused of 14 counts of illegal undercover taping. So that means taping without the consent of the other person. And then the 15th count is conspiracy to do all of that. But the problem is this. All of these undercover tapes were done in public. They were done in places where you could easily be overheard. They were done in convention halls. They were done as part of cocktail receptions. They're in public restaurants where there are waiters moving by and folks sitting in neighboring tables. In fact, it's very clear David didn't tape in private locations. However, I can show you recent evidence, which would be on the evening news in Los Angeles. I can show you investigative journalists on the evening news taping in private doctors' offices. Do they get prosecuted? No. Why? So why are these cases being brought?
Good point. Well, California Attorney General Javier Becerra, who succeeded Kamala Harris, is prosecuting this case. He and Harris have received considerable campaign support from the abortion industry. Talk about that, and, is that a conflict of interest?
It absolutely is. So I can show you video. You can go online and find it of Attorney General Becerra on election night in front of an "I Stand with Planned Parenthood" sign, graciously thanking Planned Parenthood for being with him from the beginning. Remember, "I Stand with Planned Parenthood" was the key way that they rebutted the videos back in 2015 as these began, and that's been their mantra, trying to get people to say "I stand with Planned Parenthood" and against David Daleiden. So he's hopelessly conflicted, and even since that time, Planned Parenthood has actually filed for a motion to intervene in the criminal case. Unheard of. And the judge has entertained it. Now the judge has said, well, I'm not going to let you do it. I'm not going to let you actually stand there next to the prosecutor and make objections. But the judge has taken substantive evidence from Planned Parenthood, and the Attorney General welcomed them in. See, it's clear they're prosecuting the case together, and we just don't do this in the American system of justice. You're entitled to a neutral prosecutor who doesn't have an axe to grind against you. And I'll tell you, other prosecutors who looked at these charges before the Attorney General took it to themselves, the other prosecutors weren't going to proceed. There's evidence in the record the Los Angeles District Attorney had looked at this case, said there's nothing here, and was not going to proceed. It was the Attorney General, at the behest of Planned Parenthood, who proceeded with this apace. So we're saying that's wrong. Let a neutral prosecutor look at this. And if a neutral prosecutor looks, we know that these charges will be thrown out.
Peter, we so much appreciate you and your insights in this very bizarre but interesting case. Thanks so much for being with us.